Hey, Nashville. Welcome back to the NFM Podcast, brought to you by the Optimize You Studio. Our sponsors today are Navy, Restore Hyper Wellness, and Sensa Padel. We are here with Mark as a guest host today.
Hello, guys.
And also Lindsey Elliott. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And it's your first time on a podcast, right?
First time ever.
Yes. Nice. Are you nervous at all?
I'm not nervous, no.
No.
Should I be?
No, not at all.
Putting that in her head.
No, but
She's very nervous.
some people, like when the camera, some people like me, maybe when the camera's on you, you just get a little like nervous, but I'm glad you're not.
For now, I'm good. Yeah.
Sweet.
Comfortable. We are comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Lindsey is the founder of Oaks of Hope, and we are going to get into all that in just a minute. But before we do, we have to do the basket of debates. This is our icebreaker. We're going to choose a prompt, and then we'll respond. Lindsey, why don't you go first?
Okay. If animals could talk, which species would be the rudest? That's a good one.
That is a good one. I already know what my answer is.
Oh, that's quick. Okay. Do you go first? Or do I have to?
I can.
Okay. Yeah,
do you want to think about it?
Yeah, I'm going to think.
I feel like cats.
I was going to say cats. I was going to say cats too.
Cats are just like, please go away. Like, that's what I feel like their whole aura is just like,
Big cats too. Either one.
All the cats.
Huh?
Domestic cats, big cats, all cats. I think are very rude.
All cats?
Yeah.
How do you know about big cats?
Right.
I mean, I'm not like I'm not an expert on cats, but I'm just saying, like, if they all act very similarly. If you saw a domestic cat or a lion or a tiger, I feel like they act pretty similar. So I think they'd be very rude.
Yeah. And they're predators. So that's rude.
Yeah, that is rude.
For the prey, it's rude.
Yeah. He was really rude. He tried to eat me. Yeah. I get that. Yeah, that's pretty rude.
So you think cats too? Is that your answer?
Yeah. Yeah. If there was an animal that would be the rudest one, yeah, definitely cats. For sure.
See, I keep thinking of some type of rodent, but maybe it's just because rodents really gross me out, and I feel like they would be. Yeah. So maybe
it's
like
rude
a
to
rat
us.
or maybe a rat. Yeah.
I do feel like rats give off like cat vibes. Not in the same exact way, but in the way of like they think they own everything. They think it's all about them.
Yeah. And I know movies paint them as really fantastic animals, but I don't feel like that's the reality of who they are. So I feel like, even though they're great in Ratatouille,
right?
I feel like in real life they're probably not. So yeah, I'm gonna go with rats.
Yeah. There's a movie I'm trying to think of where the rat is just like rude and mean.
Rats and cats.
Rats and cats. Rats and cats. Okay, Mark, you go.
Okay, my turn. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Can you still be healthy if you never eat vegetables?
Ooh.
Oh. This question was made for you because you were talking about this earlier.
I did talk about it earlier. I did see this question before, but I did. Full disclosure. But the thing that I brought up was I've seen recent talks about vegetables and how long it takes to come from farm to table if they're actually as nutrient dense as you think they are once you eat them from where you get them at the grocery store or whatever. So there's been some debate online. I couldn't tell you exactly where I saw it, but it's, social media posts always kind of come up and you see certain things, certain people talk about it, but I don't know if it's necessarily that you are like unhealthy if you don't eat vegetables, but can you still be healthy if you never eat them? I would say probably yes.
Yeah.
I would still say yes. Because you can find other nutrients and other things. But, if you want to argue with me, you can. That's fine.
I guess it depends on, I think there's so many. Oh, were you finished?
Yeah, no.
All right, on to my answer.
Please.
I feel like there are different ways to be healthy. Like I'm probably deficient in some of my micronutrients that I could get from vegetables.
Yeah.
But in general, I would consider myself a healthy person. So yeah, I think you could be healthy without vegetables, but maybe not as well-rounded as you could be.
Is it subjective?
Yeah.
Also, is it all individuals, right?
Yeah.
Is it individualistic, I should say?
Yeah, I would say it depends on the person.
Right?
Like everybody's so different.
Yeah.
What you need, what you don't need, how your body processes it, what you're deficient in, what are you eating besides that? Like, where are you getting your produce? You know, are you picking it up at the CSA and it got picked that morning? Or are you like getting it in the conventional aisle that's been there for a couple of weeks? And so, but I mean, I know people who are, I would consider them healthy and they are carnivore, you know, like they don't eat vegetables.
Yeah.
So, but for me
carnivores.
personally, I'm a big veggie fan.
I mean, I love
I
vegetables.
feel like the color, like we need all the colors.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, same. I just love feeling like I'm fueling my body with a well-rounded, balanced plate.
Yes,
like
for
it's
sure.
like I feel like I have more energy automatically.
Yeah.
Just feel good.
Feels nice.
Yeah. What's your question? You did yours?
I did mine.
I haven't done mine. Oh my gosh.
Hey.
My brain. So many animal questions today. Which animal would make the best world leader?
Oh gosh. Ooh. The best world leader.
A lion, right?
But they could be
We
a little
also just
ferocious,
talked about
right?
how cats are
lion.
the rudest.
They're rudest,
A lion,
and they should
right?
rule the world.
Well, it makes sense. World leader and rude.
Yeah.
Checks out.
I feel like a
done.
leader of the pack dog. Because they can be kind, but they also they lead their pack. You know, if you think of a wild dog pack, then they're gonna do what they need to do in order to make sure everyone survives and thrives.
Yeah.
And dogs are awesome.
Yeah,
So.
dogs are so awesome. Yeah. We talked about dogs in the last podcast. It's a great conversation. The reason I say lion is because of Mufasa.
Oh, yeah, he's a great one.
Yeah.
That's true.
And like in Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe,
If we
the
could have
lion.
that lion.
Yeah, that lion was
Then
like, it's like
yes.
so wholesome, represents Jesus. Is like,
Yeah.
I feel like
That's a
the
good
first
one.
thing that popped to my head was lion.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's good arguments. I mean, what animal would be the best world leader? That's tough.
Yeah.
I could say
there's a lot of animals
gorilla.
to think of too. What's the king of the jungle?
See, some people say it's the lion's king of the
I've
jungle.
heard, lion.
Right?
Oh, okay. I'm right. I thought maybe it was a gorilla.
If this question had a correct answer.
You
It's mine.
won already. That's it. You already
If
have
there was
it.
a winner, it's me.
Lion.
I thought maybe it was a gorilla. That's why I asked.
I thought gorilla were kind of the first thing because I don't know because they're so big, like
Strong.
they're
powerful.
strong. Like I feel like that's but again, I think they're very much pack kind of led too.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I have no idea if they are or not, but I would assume that they are. And if they were living out in the wild, that they're very much like taking care of their own kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would assume.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Assumption.
I'm going to be thinking about that the rest of the day.
Oh yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Ezra. I love the animal questions today. Keep them coming. Makes me happy just thinking about animals. Okay, Lindsey. So you are here to tell us about your nonprofit, Oaks of Hope. Tell us what Oaks of Hope is.
We are a nonprofit. We work in Belize,
Okay.
and our primary goal is to help children with education. So education is not free in Belize, and therefore children have to pay to go to school. So they have to pay for their school uniforms, their school costs, their school supplies. And this is all in a country that poverty is everywhere. And you think of poverty here, but their poverty line is so much even less than that. And so many of the families are struggling with, do we put food on the table or do we send our kids to school? And so you see this huge population of children as they grow up. And once they get to what we would say like middle or high school, they're not able to go anymore because they can't afford it. And so our organization, mainly through sponsorships, so we have people here in the States who have chosen a child in Belize, and they monthly support that child. And through that, they're able to pay for all of those expenses so these kids can continue to go to school and continue to thrive within their country.
Wow. What an
Yeah.
amazing impact that is. Well, how did you get into this? Give us the backstory.
So,
And why Belize specifically?
okay, so in 2019, I went to Belize with at that time, she was 11-year-old daughter. And you guys are here in Williamson County, so like we live in a bubble, and this is not how the world lives.
Yeah.
And so I said, I really want to take her somewhere where she can see just a different culture, a different life. And honestly, it was random that I found this organization that was going to Belize that would take children, because I kept finding a lot of organizations, when you go on mission trips, they won't take children. And so they said she was welcome to come, and we went to Belize and just fell in love with it, fell in love with the people and the culture. And we made a really great connection there with a family who's from Belize, and they are missionaries there, and they just have a heart for the country. And so we kept in contact with them throughout the years. And then fast forward to 2021, and I had the opportunity to do like a matching fundraiser with a company that I worked with. And I called up our connection in Belize, and I was like, all right, listen, we can raise money, but I just need to know what's the need. Like, what do you see as like the biggest need that we can meet? And he said, oh, hands down, education. He's like, if we can get these kids educated, we can break the cycle of poverty, which is crazy, because I feel like here, our kids, at least my kids, a lot of them, like we take it for granted that education is free.
Yeah.
And if you want a school bus to come pick you up, you can hop on that school bus and you can go to school. And it is just, it's just what you do. Versus there, it's a privilege. And so at that point, we raised money. We were able to go in 2022 in January, and we gave scholarships to like 80 kids in Belize City.
Wow.
And that was so eye-opening and so phenomenal. And it was just seeing all these families come up to us and be like, oh my gosh, this makes such a huge difference for us. Like, we didn't know how we were going to be able to afford this. We didn't know how we were going to send our kid to school. And at that point, I just felt the Lord really laying on my heart to say, okay, this is great, but what's next? Like, if this is going to cover education for them for a year, that's amazing. But like, what's after that? How do we keep involved with these kids? How do we create a relationship with these kids? How do we share the love of Jesus with these kids? And so that is when Oaks of Righteousness, or Oaks of Hope, really was born from that, this desire to see kids in relationship with people. And hey, like, we love you and we care for you and we pray for you, and we're going to support you, and we want to see you through education through high school. Yeah. Because most of these kids don't get that opportunity. And so it was that idea of like, how do we not just do a one and done, but how do we really plant ourselves here and in the lives of these families and be able to see that growth in them and see them go from, whatever grade they're in through graduation.
Yeah. I'm sure it was probably so hard to see how paying 80 scholarships or providing 80 scholarships for 80 kids, that like what impact that made and how excited they were about that. I'm sure it was hard to like just do that and not like do more after seeing that. Yeah. Did you get to see like you said families were coming up to you? You got to see like reactions and just like how they felt that blessing?
Yeah. So we, and we've actually done that same fundraiser every single year. So we have the inner city kids that we still support, even though they're not in our sponsorship program. But we do a big, huge scholarship ceremony for them. And so it is so fun. So they all come, we give them backpacks, we give them scholarships. We call them by name, which I just love that we get to call them by name. They come up, they receive their scholarship, they receive their backpack. We pray with them. And so their families are all there, and it's just this huge celebration, and it's so fun. But that's one thing that I really love about Oaks is we are very relational. We have 106 kids in our program, and I get to know them all. So we go every January. We take a group. So if you guys ever want to come, you're welcome to come. And then often we'll go in the summer as well. And every time we go, we see our kids, which means we get to lay eyes on them. That's amazing. Get to talk to them. We get to hear what's going on with their lives. We do home visits. So we'll go and be with their families. We'll take them groceries and just be able to sit with them and take time with them. And it's really sweet because I really feel like having that relationship is just as important as the education, because they know it's not just random people who are sending money down. It's people who are actually we know you. Like, I know what's going on with you. I know your struggles. I know we get to know them. So it's really sweet.
Yeah, like this money or this support means that somebody cares for someone other than themselves and cares for somebody like me.
Yeah.
Do most kids in Belize, do you know like percentages of kids who get to go to school or have the money to go to school versus those who don't? Like what's the majority? I'm assuming the majority aren't able to go?
Once they get to high school, it's about 50% that don't go. But even of those 50 that go, not all of them will graduate. It ends up being very expensive. Some schools, by the time that they're seniors, it can be upwards of like $1,000 for them to go to school, which again might not sound much to us, but when you're making $50 a month, like you just can't do that, you know? Yeah. And so for elementary, most of the kids will go no matter what. But the problem is if their parents aren't paying school fees, it puts those kids in a bind in terms of their education, their ability to move on.
Does it get more expensive?
It gets more expensive.
Okay, as they go on. But most kids probably start in elementary.
Yes.
You say?
So they call it they call it something different. But yes, they start when they're 4 actually, and then make their way up. So most of the younger ones do. Unless they're in very remote areas, most of the younger ones will get to go. It just depends on, can the parent actually pay? Will the school work with them so that they can maybe work something off? Will the parent even do that? So there's kind of a lot of gray area in there.
Yeah. This topic is really kind of near and dear to me because I was a teacher in first grade for 4 years. And then kind of my transition out of that, my cousin who's a missionary in Africa, Liberia, she asked me to come train their teachers in a little village how to teach phonics and reading.
Awesome. Okay.
But a lot of the kids there are the same. Like being able to afford school is really difficult. But for them, it's a tiny little village in the middle of the jungle. So really for them, a big part of it is being able to pay teachers. So the village itself is just really poor. Yeah. But parents aren't able to pay school fees to then pay teachers. So a lot of kids don't go to school, and that's just like through elementary in that little village. A lot of kids don't go to school, or the schooling they do get is so just
not great,
sporadic, not great. Like a lot of the teachers don't know the subjects well. And so then to be able to continue, they call it going on the road. They go on the road to like go to high school, and college. And the amount of kids who actually make it on the road and like go to high school and college is so few because people just don't have the money there. Yeah. And so what I was wondering, the kids who don't go, who aren't able to continue on, what do they end up doing? Do you see like trends of what their life ends up looking like?
It ends up looking a lot like their parents. So a lot of kids in our program are immigrants from different countries. And a lot of the times these families are coming to Belize illegally. And so their options for jobs aren't a ton, but they'll do things like handyman work, cleaning, things you wouldn't necessarily need schooling for, and things that you can kind of hire out individually. And so a lot of these kids will go home and they'll do the same thing as their parents. And that's another thing that we work with the kids on, because if their parent only went through standard 6 or 8th grade, then oftentimes that's kind of the expectation of the kid. Like, we're going to get you through 8th grade, but then you're coming home and you're going to work because we need the money and we need the ability to care for our family. And I remember it was a couple years ago, and we do the home visits. And so we were at one of the homes, and I always like to find the kids and just chat with the kids. And so I was asking him, I said, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? And he kind of looked at me like, what do you mean? And I'm like, when you're done with school, when you graduate, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he was like, I don't know. And I was talking to one of our Belizean friends and that same day, and they said, well, no one asks them that, because the expectation is you just do what your parents do. Like, you get through whatever school you can and you do what your parents do. But that night we had our scholarship ceremony, and he came up to me, and they just call you Miss. I know what I want to do. And I wish that I could remember exactly what he said, but it was something about being like a professional bike rider, which I just thought was awesome. And I was like, I feel like, again, here in the States, kids think about that. They're asked that from like a young age, and they get a dream, and they get to think about
the opportunities
I want to
there.
be, and they want to be all these awesome things, because when you're 5, you can be whatever you want, And I just loved that he took time and he thought about it and he came back to me. And
what a fun question to be asked when you've never been asked that.
Yeah. And so I thought that was really cool. And then we were talking to some teachers, and this was kind of in a separate time, but we were talking about the program and how our desire is really to continue on with these kids and see them graduate high school and create relationship with them. And they just kept saying, this is hope. Like this is for a community that hasn't really had hope, and maybe have people who come in and do scholarships for a year here and there, but don't really have the sustainability and the desire to see them through. She's like, this is giving families hope. And again, it was just really sweet hearing that, and how the Lord has just opened so many doors and paved so many paths. And it's been really sweet to be able to be a part of it.
What a blessing
for
them. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, with the kids that are sponsored, how many of them have you, or that you keep in contact with, have gone on and graduated high school and have done those things? Like how, and is the foundation in contact with most of them? Do you see like what else they can do after they graduate? Like what's
So we started in 2022, and we started with only K through 6th.
Okay.
And the reason we did that is because high school is a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
And so what we are asking our sponsors to pay per month doesn't cover high school.
Gotcha.
So we kind of have like a separate fund that we're using for that. But all that to say, none of ours have graduated yet. We have a junior this year. We have quite a few sophomores and quite a few freshmen. But we don't have any who have made it to. But it'll be a celebration.
That's great. Like that's really cool. That's really cool.
That will be a big celebration.
Yeah.
I guess you said 2022 is when you went on this mission trip.
Well, we went in 2019, and then we started Oaks in 2022.
Okay, so it's been
Fresh.
3 years.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it takes at least 4 years to graduate high school.
Yeah.
Man, that'll be so exciting.
I know. It'll be fun.
We're going to take a quick break, but after the break, I want to hear about your daughter's experience when she went with you.
Okay.
And then also just how the sponsorship works and how people get involved. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We are here with Lindsey Elliott, and she's sharing with us about Oaks of Hope and all that it is about. It's been such a cool, fun conversation so far. So intrigued to learn more. You mentioned that this started when you and your daughter went on a missions trip to Belize, and you kind of just wanted that experience for her outside of life in America. What was that like for her?
That's a great question. She definitely had all the emotions of doing something for the first time like that, because it's different. It's a different culture. It's a different place. And you see really hard things that you just aren't used to seeing. And so I think, first of all, she had a lot of fun, because we always have a whole lot of fun when we go to Belize, and we have a really good time. But I also think for her to see the level of poverty in some places and how some people live was quite eye-opening for her.
Yeah.
and also hard for her and for me. I think that, it doesn't matter how many times you see something like that. It just, it breaks your heart. So, I think she definitely had some hard times of just trying to wrap her head around why, like, how is this possible? And, but I will say, and I'm sure you've experienced this too with being in Africa, it's cool to see how people can live with nothing and still have joy and still be content. Yeah. And I think oftentimes for us, like, we get weighed down with all the things that are available to us, and it's easy to not be content because there's always people with more. And so just to be able to see, hey, just because they're, living in trash, because essentially that's a lot of people there, that's how they build their homes, they're still joy-filled, and they're still living life, and they're still being kind to people and
building relationships with others, connecting.
So I think it's like, it was good for her. And for me.
What a great thing. It's a great gain that perspective of that young.
Yeah.
That's huge.
How old is she?
She's 17 now.
Okay.
So she's been twice with me now, and we're taking the whole family. We have 5 kids. We're taking everybody in January.
Fun.
So our two littlests are 10 and 12, and they haven't been yet. And then my oldest is a senior, which makes me so sad. But since it's her last year before she goes off to college, we really wanted to be able to take the whole crew for this one.
Oh, that's so fun.
We're having a good time.
I'm one of 6.
Oh, you are? Okay.
7.
So big family life.
My family adopted Daniel after I was out of the house. But one of 7. So I love a big family.
I love it. That's
always
great.
a good time. There's something else. Is she involved now? Like, is she doing things with Oaks of Hope?
She sometimes, like, we have a big event this Saturday, and I've recruited all of our kids to help with that. And so it depends on what we have going on that I'll pull kids in to help. And
yeah. I'm sure that's making such an impact on your own kid's life, just seeing what you're doing and just caring for other people and thinking about people other than yourself is honestly so healthy. Like,
I hope so. I hope it impacts them in, positive way. And ultimately, I mean, it's still like, it's not me. I still feel like it's that, like, where's the Lord calling you to? And it's our job to say yes and do the work, but he's the one that, opens the doors and gets it done. So for them just to be able to say whatever they do in life, whether it's start a nonprofit or work in whatever, company place that they have, that they're doing it for the Lord. Yeah.
For the Lord. And then, just like I think that perspective that they've probably got from just like seeing another place in the world, especially one of poverty, and then seeing how you are in that world, that brings such a good perspective, I think, to life. It's no matter what you're doing, you, I don't know, you just think about those things. I think it's good. It's healthy.
Yeah, that it's not for you. It's for, it's for other people.
And even as an adult to get that perspective, like, we know it's around, it's happening around the world, but even as an adult to go and see all those things, it's just I mean, I can imagine that you come back and you live your life here and you go, okay, things are pretty comfortable. But then to always have that, to know, like, when things do get a little bit rough or tough or anything like that, you'd be like, the perspective of is I know I can find joy in the littlest of things if I just really think about it, and that kind of helps keep that in the mindset, in the right mindset, to always be grateful for just the fact that it means super grateful, right? For all the things you do have. So that's huge, because I feel like you can always, it's always very easy to just kind of put it in the back of your head, but
100%
in the back of your mind, but you're like, okay,
it's easy. I mean, even for me, like, I go once or twice every year, and I still, I forget.
You come back,
life,
Yeah, for sure. So tell us more about how the sponsorship works.
Okay.
So families, you recruit families to sponsor kids?
For the most part, we have, so like I said, we have 106 who currently are sponsored, and we have about 5 or 6 who need a sponsor. And the way it works is right now they're on our website. The kids' profiles are on our website.
Okay.
And so you can go and read a little bit about them and what they like to do and how old they are. And then the sponsorship, it's $40 a month. And that covers it covers their school fees, their school uniforms, their school supplies, and then all of them have access to some type of nutrition through that. So in one of our communities, it's a feeding program. So when they're in school, they get a lunch every day. And then the other community, it's groceries. So they get grocery bags every month for their family. And that's all covered with that sponsorship amount.
I'm glad you brought that up because that made me think of like the school I taught at, even in the States. In Tennessee, it was a low-income school, and a lot of the kids wanted to come to school because they knew they would get food. Like they knew if they came to school, they would get lunch. And then we would also had like a bag program, food bag. I forgot what it was called, but where certain kids would get bags home for the weekend.
That's awesome. Yeah.
To make sure they had food on the 2 days they weren't going to be at school.
Yeah.
Which is just so like gut wrenching to think not the food part, but like just that people go without like that.
Yeah.
And children, not knowing if they're going to get something. So school, not just education, but providing them with some stability and health that way.
Yeah.
That's powerful. So you guys have an event every year that you do also to share.
Yeah. So
about
this is our second annual. So we're doing, it's grown. So last year we did a 1 mile fun run and field events. And this year we added in the 5K, and it's at Harlansdale. And so it's it's October 18th, but we do this every year. So we'll do it next fall again. But essentially the $40 that our sponsors give us every month really goes straight to their kid and making sure their kid's taken care of and their kid has what he or she needs. And so this event is really the one that allows us to keep doing what we do and allows us to sustain our mission in Belize and continue supporting the kids. We have some employees in Belize that we get to support and that really help just be the hands and feet of what we want to do day to day, and are, a huge liaison for us between what is needed and what we're able to provide. And so this event for us is really how we do what we do. So we'll be at Harlansdale, and it's so much fun. We have a really good time. Lots of families come out because field events are like, you guys have done field a day when you were a kid, and it's like the sack races and the 3-legged races, but we have adults out there. Like, we have so much fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, every
that.
fall, and we're at Harlansdale this year, and hopefully we'll be at Harlansdale again next year.
Okay.
And so we'll release that probably early 2026, like at least to save the date of when that will be.
Yeah. So for all the listeners, next year is this one. Nobody will be able to make.
Yeah.
Because it's happening really soon. But next year, you guys can keep up.
Yeah, keep it on your radar.
Yeah, keep up, see how the event went this year, and keep it on your radar for next year. Save the date, you said.
Yes.
Yes, you should send us that date.
Are there any more events that are being planned, like if you're just going to do the annual one, or is there more like that's in the pipeline that you're thinking of doing?
Probably locally, just that one.
Okay.
We do have some of our board members are in different states, and they've talked about potentially doing different things. But I think locally, we'll probably just pour a lot into that. And then, we always have our trip to Belize every year, which is not local, but everybody is always welcome. And it really is great. And kind of what I was saying earlier about a lot of organizations don't take children, but we love taking kids. We normally say 12 is sort of the youngest, just because it's long days and you can see some really hard things, and meals are all over the place. And so you just have to have a kid who's mature enough to be able to handle that. But we love bringing kids because our ministry is to kids. Yeah. And so when we have kids come, I feel like it just automatically breaks down walls. The kids that are in our program see the other kids and they just start playing together, and they're going to have a really good time. And so it's a really great trip for families because of that.
What a great way to build a relationship with them over there too, doing that. That's really cool.
Yeah. How do you guys find the kids that, I'm sure there's plenty of kids who need help. But are they referred to you through school there?
So we partner with churches.
Okay.
And
is that also how you get people to sponsor? Is that the main?
Through like in the States?
Yeah.
So I would
Sorry, that's
say
kind of a double question.
I would say the majority of our kids are sponsored through people at our church.
Okay.
So our church has been a huge support, and then the other ones have just been people we're in a relationship through school or through work or through other things like that. And then in Belize, we partner with churches, and they help us identify the kiddos that need help. We have the church, and then in each community we have a community coordinator, and that's the person that helps run our program. And so those two together really help determine what kids we need, what kids need it. And when we're able to take more kids on, they'll let us know who those kids are. But we do that because we aren't there. We're here. And so even though we get a visit, we're not there day to day. And so we really want to have an active church community that's going to be reaching out, that's going to be involved, so that they know this is the relationship, they're cared for. And really, Oaks is not the forefront in Belize, it's the church, because again, like, we're not there. And so we'd rather them have that relationship with their local church community and feel plugged in there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's super helpful. That would be pretty challenging if you didn't have that there. Where did the name come from, Oaks?
So Isaiah 61, and I should know the Bible verse by heart, but I do not.
We can pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up, because I don't want to butcher it. But it's so it's interesting. Our name is Oaks of Righteousness. However, like, our social and our website are all Oaks of Hope for several different reasons. And so we've kind of gravitated more towards being Oaks of Hope, but we're still Oaks of Righteousness as well. But that's where Isaiah 61, it's like the first few verses.
I'm just about to read some scripture for everybody today. Let's see. First few verses, you said?
Yeah.
The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called Oaks of Righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. Wow.
That's beautiful. That's great. Yeah,
I'm going to highlight that. They'll be called the Oaks of Righteousness, providing those who grieve. Wow. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So how can the people find you who also have listened and love you?
So our website is Oaks of Hope, and oaksofhope.org, and it's OAKS, so no E in there. And then we're also on Instagram. It's Oaks of Hope with a period in between Oaks and of and hope, if that makes sense.
So oaks.of.hope.
Yep, that's a better way to say that. Thank you.
Nice.
Okay.
But yeah, we try to be somewhat active on social, and then our website is where you can get all the information of who we are and what we do, and see the kiddos that still need sponsored. And if you want to come in January, there's a video on there that gives some information about what that would look like and how to get in touch with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody, follow Oaks of Hope on Instagram and look at their website for all those kids who are in need. Share this story and this nonprofit with somebody who you know would care. On behalf of NFM and Spread the Positive, we are so thankful to have you guys listening to us today. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and we will catch you guys on the next one.